Greetings and salutations, fans of Dota 2. It is I, Badger, here for some somewhat late night casting, joined by the one, the only, Artorius. How are you tonight?
You wouldn't believe how tempted I was in your 10-second pause time just to start saying greetings and salutations. My name's Badger.
Uh, I'm aware of what you're thinking right now. Don't worry, I'm aware of what you're thinking. That's why I'm one step ahead tonight. I told you not to do it. We are here for a.
That's not going to stop me all the time.
Good point. Good points. We are here though for a two-game matchup between the Funny Zone, the former fourth place team from last season, give or take one player. And we have the somewhat new Guam stack, with obviously the perennial League admin Guam with a new stack, the Clankers and the Guamments. Should be a pretty interesting series. Currently, Funny Zone and Clankers and the Guamments are tied in the scoreboard. They both are 1 win and 1 loss in game score. Both drew their first series of the season, so it is even for now. Obviously, Funny Zone have high expectations given their finish last season, and Clankers and the Guamments were rated one of the lowest teams by most pundits, so we'll have to see if that reflects in our series tonight. But opening the draft, we have our first phase of bans already done. Funny Zone Respect banning the Marana, banning out the Bristle as well, and then Clankers and the Guamments banning out the Nyx and the Doombringer, so bit of Respect headed right back. Guam, or sorry, actually, Spidez is drafting tonight. The Chaz is drafting tonight. He first picked the Lion, and Funny Zone found a Spirit Picker, and they're sitting on their second pick. What are your thoughts so far?
I think both are pretty meta. Some people might not consider Spirit Breaker meta, but I think with the it was talked about a little bit on the DOS content show tonight, with Clockwork being a really good 4 right now. Kind of just goes in and breaks up these big team fights that teams draft, and Spirit Breaker just does the same thing. He's just a body. You throw him in there, he breaks shit up.
And they grabbed the Ancient Apparition as well, one of the premier 5s of the patch, and the Chaz picks a Storm. This is presumably a mid-storm here. What's the idea behind that hero here?
I think that hero is also pretty strong right now. I think it's perfectly fine picking it up at 8. They already banned 2 counters to it, the Doom and the Nyx. So you're probably going to see a Puck ban, an Anti-Mage ban.
You got the Puck ban already?
And then one other mid laner that Spidez probably doesn't want to lane against.
I think the question of the day is, will the drafts be different, given the drafter is different? I'm not sure. Anybody who watched the first series of the season for Clankers and the Guamments, it's casted by Xeriscape, and there's a certain thing that happened while I was watching it. Guam forgot to press the button for the overall 24 pick. They randomed, I believe it was a Viper. Not the worst random in the world, but...
Or was it Luna? Because Guam was playing for Luna. Did he actually draft himself for Luna?
I think he actually drafted himself. Unless he did it twice in the same series, because the game where they had the Viper carry was the was the game I know they randomed. And maybe that has created a situation for Clankers and the Guamments where now there's a different button presser. The Spidez, the Unbreakable, the Chaz himself is now the man of 3 names, is pressing said buttons, no longer quad pressing it, so...
Everyone put your Guam panics in the chat.
Oh no! They have not banned out the Anti-Mage yet, though. They banned out the Puck, they banned out the Quap. If they want to ban the AM, they have a chance to with their third ban in that second phase, of course. Looking over at Funny Zone, they banned out the PL. Not sure if this is a carry that they are scared of in particular, or if it's just a hero where they respect banning it. Could be either or at this stage of the meta, but they do ban out the Jug as well, so... Funny Zone banning out carries, Clankers and the Guamments banning out mids. I do want to mention something a little bit off color though for the draft. Is team names. You know what I appreciate, Artorius?
What?
Team names that are easy to say when you're casting. Like Funny Zone is a pretty easy one. It's got 3 syllables, and they're all short. Nothing too hard to say. Clankers and the Guamments, it's not too hard because you just shorten it to Clankers. Which, by the way, is Clankers even here tonight?
No, they have a stand-in. Crucial is standing in for him.
Is that the Crucial taunt? Or does a different type of Crucial?
Don't know. I can double check.
I'm going to call him Crucial regardless. But the reason I mentioned that, I was watching the DOS tent earlier, and the name of his team is not Ape Simps, it's Apes Imps, which is a lot harder to say. It does not roll off. Apes Imps does not roll off the tongue the way Ape Simps does. You know what I mean? You feel me on this one?
Just call them apes.
I'm. Good idea, actually. It's a very good idea. It's good that I get to bounce my ideas off you sometimes, you know? It's a very good idea, actually. It's probably just better than saying Ape Simps or Apes Imps. I suppose it is better, though. They opened their Week 1 matchup with a team name called the Radiance, and they had a team banner which was a Dire Ancient, so it's better than that, at least.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
I remember, I think it was QSS or Birdman, it was like, oh, they just forgot the ticket. No, they were fucking with the casters.
Crucial Taunts and RD2L, right?
Either formerly or currently. I know he used to. I'm not sure if it's still.
Okay. Because this Crucial plays an RD2L, so I'm assuming it's Crucial Taunt. I don't know.
Probably the same Crucial then.
I don't know who Crucial Taunt is, so.
I mean, probably the same players. You know Dota players, sometimes they just change their names.
I know, I have to nickname all the core players on my friends list because they all changed their name.
Have you nicknamed me yet or no?
No, because you don't change your name from Badger.
Well, I haven't changed my name in like 4 years. I used to be Badger with an exclamation mark, and before that, I haven't changed it even years before that. So I don't change it very often.
I changed my name, I think, 4 years ago as well. It used to be Augustus instead of Artorius.
Ave.
Yes. Both Roman names.
Yes, sir. Looking over at the bands, we have a Ricky band and a Tiny band, so no anti-mage bands. It is possible for Funny Zone to pick it, albeit Clankers will have 2 opportunities to counterpick the AM. We go for the Centaur instead, and then Clankers pick a Witch Doctor. So we have the 4, 5, and 2 of Clankers. We have the 3, 4, 5 of Funny Zone. If you're Funny Zone, do you just pick a mid laner right here? Or do you need to secure the anti-mage right here right now?
I feel like if they wait for 24 pick, the anti-mage isn't getting through. It's really a pretty good anti-mage game. You just need to be worried about the offlaner and the enemy carry. So they go for the TA instead.
They go for the direct lane counter, yeah.
Yeah, because with anti-mage, there's 3 jump targets right now. 3 out of 3. You can jump any of those.
That is true, but AM, not necessarily a winning Dota hero nowadays. I'm not sure if I would call it a bad carry or a literal bottom of the barrel carry, but in a meta in which Dusa and Storm are staple picks, we're still not seeing that many anti-mages. So if that doesn't tell you anything about the state of the hero, then nothing else will.
Well, I think you don't pick anti-mage unless it's an absolutely free anti-mage game. So you're probably only going to see it 18 or 24s.
How often is it a truly free anti-mage game? Because there are so many things to counter anti-mage, like fast silences, stuns, hexes, strong offlaners, heroes who end early, heroes who counter him late, having a brain, fucking sentry wards at the tri-camp. Like, there's so many things to counter anti-mage, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I think it has to be an 18 or 24 pick. And the chances of it being a good anti-mage game on 18 or 24 pick and it not being banned are kind of low.
Yeah, I'm sure they're banning it now, though. I mean, they have a Storm and they have a Dusa, so this is the most obvious anti-mage ban of all time, if they want to ban it. They ban it.
Yeah. I was going to say, Medusa's relatively okay against anti-mage, just because Dusa's so good right now. You can always just kind of buy a BKB and kill the rest of the enemy team before anti-mage can even think about jumping you. But there's just so many good jump targets for the anti-mage that it's just a good idea to get rid of them.
All 4 heroes, to an extent. Yeah. It's one of those things. I feel like anti-mage is just weaker nowadays than he was in years past. Because conceptually, right, you think about anti-mage as a hero who cuts lanes very well traditionally. But I think the understanding of Dota has shifted with the rise of like tree man Dota. You see basically every carry in the game against like 80% of heroes now can simply go into the trees and cut creeps. You don't necessarily need to be a hero like Anti-Mage anymore, a hero like Nagasine with the Radiance anymore to cut the creeps. I think as the understanding of Dota gets better in terms of carries and map movements, the value of Anti-Mage's ability to cut waves is less, you know?
They could just remove the hero from the game. I don't think anyone would complain.
It's going to open up my Dota profile real fast. I got my 8.7 million gold earned Anti-Mage. Yeah, I would not notice. I agree. We do have Timbersaw and Drow bans, though. Honeys don't have to banning out 2 offlaners. They'll ban out the Timbersaw and the Sand King. Clanker's banning out 2 carries, the AM and the Drow. Question of the day at this point is, what do you pick to counter this Dusa hero? Because Dusa feels like a very hard hero to beat this patch.
Well, in theory, the best heroes against Dusa are heroes that just outrange her. The problem is there's a Storm Spirit, so you can't pick Sniper, you can't pick Arc Warden. And Arc Warden isn't even that good anymore either, because you use a targeted spell on her, and she just stuns you inside of your bubble, and you can't move as Arc Warden, and you're kind of sad. So obviously you're not picking Sniper into a Storm, you're obviously not picking Arc Warden. And the other typical counters of the hero, like the AM, the PL, and the Drow are all out. And now with an axe in the game, it's difficult to pick up illusion heroes to burn her mana. So I think this is a really tough one. I'm assuming... I was going to say Terrorblade might be a decent option, but all the other 4 heroes in the game make Terrorblade not viable.
I like this draft, though. I like this draft from the Dire side. I think they had a very good draft there.
Yeah, I actually have no idea what to pick as a carry right now.
I think they went very ballsy with the Storm at 8, expecting that it might be countered. But other than the lane counter and the TA, they didn't counter it. Wait a minute.
That is one way to counter it. Go Templar Assassins safely.
Yeah, the thing is, suddenly one of the main reasons why you have the Templar Assassin, the hero who can beat the Storm in the lane, is not in her lane anymore.
Yeah. I also don't know how the lane goes in between an axe and a TA.
That's one of the things. Like the refraction blocks the spin damage, right? But the Battle Hunger breaks the refraction as well, so it feels like a really hard lane to play as TA.
Yeah, like most of the time you'd think, oh, a ranged hero versus axe should be easy for the ranged hero, but then you realize, is TA really a ranged hero? She has like 200 attack range.
If anything, you run the Invoker safe lane, right? And then you run the TA mid there. That's what I would do. I've seen Invokers safe lane in years past, and it's a bit awkward to play, but it seems more playable than the carry Templar. Maybe just Smiley's their Templar player, and they'll of course go safe lane, but we'll have to see with this one. I definitely prefer the Clanker side draft. Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, I think I'm favoring Dire just based off of lanes. I also think they don't have a counter to Medusa. Like, yeah, you can go EMP and just try and drain her mana. But the problem is she gets so much mana back from Mystic Snake. And on top of that, if she just has a BKB or a Force Staff, you don't have anything to actually deal with her properly. Like, nothing's just going to sit there and man-fight her. And nothing's going to blow her up either. So I think they might run into a bit of a problem later on in the game.
Alright, people, welcome. If you're just joining us, we are here for Game 1 of a 2-game series between the 1-1 Funny Zone and the 1-1 Clankers and the Guamments. I am Badger. I am, as when possible, joined by the one and only Artorius, and we are just now headed towards the runes for what should be our first action of game number 1. Look at the Chaz's item build.
Pretty pog.
I know we've seen a lot of range carries in the safe lane go Quelling Blade at level 1 recently, but this is a mid laner, which is a little bit more shocking. Maybe he has this to play, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe he's scared of a Exort Invoker just taking all of his last hits, but I highly doubt he's going Exort Invoker, especially in this game.
It's one of those things where worst case scenario is the next Sword Invoker, you just go to the jungle earlier. You trade with the Force Spirit with your Overload, right? I could be wrong. I'm not really.
You go to the jungle. You go to the jungle earlier. You get great benefit from Quelling Blade.
I guess you're right, sir. All right, 2 runes will go to both teams, so nothing too unsurprising. No actual trading going on at the runes on this fine day.
I mean, both teams' level 1s are kind of mediocre.
The thing is, if both teams' level 1s are mediocre, then they have equally powerful level 1s, right?
I don't know. If I was any hero on any team, I'd be like, I'm gonna go block my wave. Goodbye.
Yeah, speaking of range heroes with Quelling Blades, Dusa has one though. Dusa buying a QB is a little more standard in 2021 than Storm buying a QB. And looking over at the different, actually right now bottom lane, it's more of a 2v2 matchup. Alright, never mind. Guam is now trading with Mr. Baboon and Jake Curto over here. For a little bit we saw Baboon trading with Crucial Taunts, but not anymore. Top lane, ooh, what are you saying there?
Just look at Smiley's, look at his sponsor.
Where is Eli? I don't want to should we talk about that one or no?
Yeah. We'll just if people don't know what that's from, we'll just not say anything. We'll just let it go.
The man of mystery. I'll agree with you on that one. Actually, a really good side blades there by Smiley. Got the range creep deny and the range creep lasted. That was a fantastic side blades. This TA has been pretty good in the lane so far.
Yeah, I think that was the definitely the correct play is to go side blades. I think Axe looked to punish the fact that she has no range with counter helix, and she just had more range because she skilled side blades first.
Yeah, we always could be wrong about the analysis of the Templar pick. We were questioning how it was going to lane and how it was going to scale.
I've just never seen it.
Yeah,
well, I've seen safe lane Templar, but I've never seen it versus an Axe, and I'm just like, how does this work? I guess
seeing it, he burns our fraction, then he trades anyways, and the Crucial Taunt, he's so damaged there. Yeah, if that Boon had a chilling fetch up, he'd be extremely dead now on the Axe.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter with the Battle Hunger if you just get a last hit with side blades as well.
And luckily for us, all the real substantive action has been in the bottom lane so far. Has been a bit of trading also between Baker and Shrek in the top lane, and a little bit of trading between Korek and Chaz in the mid lane, but everything that matters has been bottom lane so far, and it's been easy to watch for us.
Yeah.
Alright, Guam's very low, Cold Feet is there, and Guam actually will go down, First Blood will be drawn by Baboon, and now Axe is running at Baboon now. In comes Smiley though, Chilling Fetch is up in 1, and Axe should go down here. He will go down here. Double kill for Mr. J. Curto, Baboon himself, and a fantastic start there for Ancient Apparition. It's not very common you see a hero have more last hits than, more kills than last hits, but right now Baboon is doing it. He has 2 kills and 1 last hit. Bottom lane, they are draining the mana of Smiley though, but Guam will take a lot of damage for that one. Yes, more than half of his HP gone. It's a rough time there for Guam.
He's actually body blocking Baboon in the creep wave.
Hey, Baboon's very low here. Should go down. Yeah, we'll go down to Guam as well. So it's a 2-for-1 current kill score. Smiley has regen on the way, I believe. Actually, he's boots in the way, so he has no regen. But top lane, Dusa and Witch Doctor tried trading with K-Stigs, and Shrek did not go too well there at all.
Yeah, Shrek went to go pull the wave, and Baker did a good job of catching it, but unfortunately gets bashed twice by the Spirit Breaker in 2 hits, and then just lets the Centaur get in range to stomp him.
I was watching bottom there rather than top, but of course there's always the threat of that fun, interactive bash ability.
17%.
So he's good on 1 and 6s. 1 second, need to talk to someone real fast. I'm going to beat my mic real fast for about 30 seconds. You got this. I'm still doing camera, don't worry.
Alright. I'm going to purposely talk about things not on Badger's camera for 30 seconds to piss him off. In top lane, you got Shrek going down, potentially to Maledict here. Rosha hit him. Is he going to get denied? He does get denied. Good play. because he was definitely dead to that Maledict damage. It is a level 2 Maledict. Bot lane, we got some contesting of pulls, blocking of camps, the usual laning phase. We have mid-storm, just casually farming jungle.
I'm back, don't worry. Good job there. He said a lot of words.
I said a lot of words, none of them meant anything.
That's exactly what I do, every single cast.
Baker's being run at.
You died to neutrals on Storm. It's very unfortunate there. I'm not sure how he did that, but sometimes you die to neutrals. It's Dota 2 for you.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Dusa once again is being run out by Shrek, but Shrek will not get that kill just yet. Seeing a bit of a sentry war going on there, but Baker should be able to D-word that one. Bottom lane, there's a Hex onto Smiley. Crucial Taunt is running in, has the call, hits it only onto the one, and they are still running Smiley. Smiley deal has refraction, is now running at the Axe. Axe will go down, and Guam will not get a counter trade. Should not die for it. Will tank Chilling Touch, but will not die for that one. Back to mid lane, EMP is going to be there on the Jazz, but it's only level, what, level 3 EMP, so not too much mana drained in this case. It's certainly a relatively quiet laning phase despite 5 cycles happening. We're seeing Shrek take a good bit of damage top lane from that Maledict, but is still fine. Did not tank the Mystic Snake, and I think even if he tanked it, she might have died in that case.
I think he would have been fine. Level 2 Maledict.
Would have been close though. I mean, it was about 200 HP without the Mystic Snake damage factoring in. It's both to the direct damage and the damage over time as well.
I think this bottom matchup is solely being won because of side blades.
I'll have to mention side blades. We're seeing the Axe even approach the lane differently now, where instead of just like tanking all these creeps, he's waiting to deny the range creep.
Yeah.
But I mean, Dota truly is, a game of range creeps. It's all that matters sometimes in Dota. All those precious range creeps.
Not inches.
No comments. No comments. Multiple things we're not commenting about tonight. Okay, let's see. What do we got? So we still have a relatively small net worth lead outside of the Radiant. We have the Chaz rotating bottom with a haste rune. Looking for Baboon. Baboon was well positioned though. Do we have a warrior? Actually, do have a warrior, so did spot the storm outs. So AA wisely backing and not dying to Guam and Chaz. Top lane, there's a cask on Shrek, who did charge in at the Medusa, but once again, slight exchange of HP and mana. Nothing of value was lost by either team.
I just realized there's a very interesting play. Baboon blocked his own pull camp. And I've talked about this on other casts with you before about supports stacking their pull camp and an offlaner like Axe or Underlord just walk up and farm it. And you just give the offlaner gold. Baboon actually recognizing the fact that, hey, this Axe can just farm my pull camp. And blocks it instead.
It's good awareness there. We're seeing Shrek die in the jungle, but as that happens, Guam dies in the bottom lane. We're seeing Axe be run at as well. Traps are there from Smiley, so it'll be 3 kills across the map. 2 for the funny zone, and 1 for Clankers and the Guamments. Both of them all the way in those side lane sort of areas. Unfortunately, I missed the kill on Guam, watching the kill on Shrek, also listening to you, but you know what? Caught 2 out of 3, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's where you get to put the multi-screen in, like, alright, got action at the bottom and at the top, but alas, the production value is nowhere near that right now on my end. Considering if you've seen the production value, it's OBS with basic text editions. Either way, we're seeing a charge onto Spidas. EMP is there, but I think was Cold Snap not? Yeah, Cold Snap was not there in time. They did not stack the stuns properly. But they will still instead head to this ancient stack. Not sure exactly except for the Medusa, but Smiley being a Templar assassin will claim that quite easily there, even putting the traps down to give an extra little bit of damage. And now the funny zone are a full 1k up. Dusa is still number 1 in last hits, but looking over at net worth, it is Smiley. Meanwhile, Guam's being charged. Charge actually was missed by the face of the tornado, but Ice Blast is there. Right clicks are there. Koryak will claim that kill on the one and only USS Guam. Meanwhile, the top lane Maledict is there, but K-Stings will stampede, will try to escape. The cask tried to kill him, tried to stun him, but it simply was nowhere near enough to be able to kill that man, and as a result, it's Centaur. He's nearly full HP, he's completely fine.
Vanguard, fair and balanced item.
I was feeling good for myself, like, yeah, catching all the action. It's like, wait, it's a Centaur. He has an extra ring of health for a hood now. He's just taking literally 0 damage. He's got 21.0 region away from the tower. This is ridiculous. Bottom lane, though, we are seeing Storm run at Baboon. Vortex is there. Axe is there as well with that Battle Hunger, but now in comes Smiley, in comes Korak as well. Tornado hitting the Storm. Cold Snap did hit this time, and now the Chaz is defeated. He will not be chazzing it up, and now they have the TA traps. They are running at Crucial Taunts. Smiley in the front, though. Glom is there, has the Hex, has the Earth Spike, will use it. And will drain a little bit of mana as well from Smiley before wisely running away from the rest of the Funny Zone. But we're seeing Templar Assassin is almost doing like the reverse carry treatment. Usually you see these carries rotate over to the your friendly tri-camp, but instead they're just rotating continuously to the enemy tri-camp.
Yeah, they have a pretty strong early draft, so they can make these plays. Obviously, Centaur does not need any help in the top lane. He's a Centaur with Vanguard. And mid lane, there's no one really to pressure the Radiant Tower, so Invoker can just freely leave the lane and go for kills whenever he feels like it.
Alright, they are charging for Guam. Hex, though, was there in time. Ice Blast was on the way. It barely missed. But now in comes Mr. Chaz. They are running at Shrek, though Stampede is there from the Radiant Death Warrior is used. They're trying to go Korak. They're trying to kill Shrek as well. Korak has the Ghost Walk. Dust was there, but not in time, and Shrek should die, but Korak will not. Yeah, Shrek will go down there to that last tick of Maledict.
That was a very big cask. I believe that's what stunned them at least there. Because it held them in place for quite some time, allowed a lot of damage, just not quite enough for the Invoker.
Still, though, I mean, you save your teammate, you kill an enemy. You have to be somewhat content with that one, and I mean, Baker just threw down his entire arsenal of spells, and it turned out pretty well for him, actually. Saw a bit of a support on support action near the rune there for the double damage rune. Thought some team might deny it, but Baker, big plays, grabs the double damage rune for himself.
Charge coming top lane. I don't think anyone's dying up here. This is 2 heroes with Vanguard.
Yeah, they'll need to TP in somebody like yesterday to kill some. I mean, Crucial Taunt is even going in there with the call. Ice Blast is in the way, so actually might go down here. Yeah, wow, the enemy will kill him. Nether Strike is there, the right clicks are there, K-Stigs will get the kill there, so. Required a good long-range Ice Blast from Baboon, but the kill was acquired via the strong efforts of 3 heroes in the Funny Zone. They're now up to 9 kills, and they are up to a 2k net worth lead already at this minute 13 mark.
I guess this is why this AA hero is so strong, is big tanky offlaner with Vanguard, like 20 health regen. Oh, how do we kill him? Oh, how about we just remove his health regen?
The way to do it. Oh, another good Hex there from Guam, though. Stampede is there. Guam has the Air Spike, but he should eventually go down. Unless Baker can't save him. Cask is there, but it did not latch to another target. It did not bounce. Now in comes Korak. Has Tornado, has EMP. Tornado on 2, EMP on 1. Baker has Cold Snap as well. He will go down there. Now Shrek is still running at Guam. Has the bash. Just needs one more bash. Will he get it? Never mind. Nurse Spike from Guam. They're now running over there with the Ice Blast as well. Finger is there. Shrek will go down. Ice Blast was hit on the Storm. Sunstrike from long range, but it will not get the kill anyways. Storm. Slightly too much HP to die to that one, I think. Yeah.
He didn't even bother to ball lightning to dodge 1 tick of damage. He just knew he was fine.
It's a 12% shatter. I think he had like 220 health there at the lowest, so not particularly that close to the threshold in that case. Despite being, you know, very low HP.
I will say one thing though. Why is this pause 5 player sacrificing his life for Guam? Hashtag not worth.
We're seeing a tornado now onto Medusa. Ice Blast is there as well. Medusa will go down. Got the Stone Gaze off, but could not latch a actual Stone Gaze on anybody. Now Nether Strike is there on Guam. Now in comes Storm trying to go on to Shrek. Maledict is there. Death Ward is there as well, but nobody is dead yet. Sunstrike goes in, will miss. Meanwhile, Shrek goes down to the damage of the Chaz. And now they're sort of running at Baker. They want to get a 3rd kill. They have Alacrity there on TA. Meld was attempted, was missed. Meteor comes in. Baker goes down there to the damage of Smiley, who has a Desolator on that Templar Assassin. It's 3-for-1 trade overall for the Funny Zone. And once again, They're playing heavily in this tri-camp area. You see the triangle? They are in this triangle, and that's their zone. If you were a Dire hero, you were not allowed here. We see Dusa going down over here, Glom going down over here. It's no fun to be had.
Mogus.
Very useful response, sir. It takes takes an entire 7100 matchmaking rating to say Amogus. Yes. We're seeing a Tornado Ice Blast once again on the way to do so. Though Ice Blast will still hit, though the damage was not there. Now they're running at the Chaz with the Orchid of Koryak. That will certainly be a kill. And now they go in with a call onto Mr. K6. Maledict is there, but now they're turning. They have the Chilling Touch onto Crucial Taunt, but the Cold Feet will not freeze him, so it will only be a single kill onto the Chaz, but a good kill to have regardless. Storm, as we're seeing Cliff Stop there onto Axe as well. Orchid once again there from Koryak. Cask was used by Baker, but it might not be enough charge. Yes, it will not be enough. Charges there from Shrek, and even the Bash will secure the kill. Sunstrike was thrown out, I'm assuming for vision. Certainly was not needed.
I think that was it was looking like an okay fight for the Dire, but Storm zips in and just gets silenced by a fresh Orchid showing by the Invoker, and completely just disrupts that fight.
Alright, they're once again charging onto the Chaz. Ice Blast is on the way, and Airstrike is there, and they will kill him with the Orchid from Koryak once again, and now Death Ward is there. They want to kill Shrek. Shrek will not go down, though. Hoof Stomp was there on one. Tornado was there on two, and it completely allows Radiant to disengage. And we're at the point now where it seems like both Storm and Orchid, Storm and Invoker, both having this Orchid want to be the ones to jump first, and so far, the Funny Zone have done a much better job of jumping the Storm with an Orchid versus instead, Flankers and the Guamments jumping the Invoker with Orchid.
I think the big thing is your two active heroes on this team are the Axe and the Storm. And the Storm's ready to go, he has his Orchid, but this Axe, having a bit rougher of a lane, doesn't quite have his Blink Dagger yet, and Centaur does. So the Invoker is just free to sit behind this big fat Centaur who has a Vanguard and a Hood and a Blink Dagger, and the Centaur can just blink in, the Spirit Breaker can just charge in, and the Dire just have to play completely reactionary. They don't have any forms of initiation right now other than just walking in.
Yeah, they have the Axe on the Axe blink at about 700 gold, but they certainly need it. It is very much needed at this stage in the game to do jumping. It's really hard right now for the Storm to find a great opening, being the first one going in, knowing, hey, there's this Orchid on Invoker. That might just ruin my day.
Yeah, I think this is why we're seeing a return of these pause 5s and pause 4s that are just some sort of initiation. Like, you just have the Tusks, the Spirit Breakers, the Clockworks coming back. Because it's not the fact that there aren't melee strength initiators in the offlane anymore. That is the meta. But the problem is they all want to build Vanguard first. So they're all getting late Blink Daggers if they're not having a fantastic lane. So you need somebody to start these fights, and it's falling on the pause 4 roll again to do so.
Alright, good D-ward there for the Dire. They D-ward a ward that could have easily killed them, though. Radiant might still jump here. K-Stakes is in the area, albeit he is under vision thanks to those Dire side creeps. As it currently stands, we're seeing the Chaz farming the Radiant jungle, Smiley farming the Dire jungle, and Dusa farming what she can over at the Tri-Camp. Right now, Dusa is having a rough game, is working on the Manta, has not even started the Aghanim Scepter just yet, so currently quite poor. We're seeing a 4-man smoke by the Funny Zone. They are going to wrap around once again onto the Tri-Camp. Guam, though, will break it, but in comes K6. Stampede is there. He is hexed, but it's in there in time. Now Stone Gaze is used. Ice Blast is used. EMP is used. Baker, certainly dead. Now in comes Storm, looking for a Baboon. Baboon will die the finger damage. Now in comes Meteor, definitely blast there onto Orchid there, onto Spider, Mr. Chaz as well, and they will not kill Storm Spirit, so only one kill. Is your game lagging too? Uh-oh. Fuck.
Yeah, I think everything was lagging. Discord, the whole thing.
Your stuff went down too? Or is it just on my end? I'm seeing connection problem. What are you seeing right now?
Oh no.
Are you seeing Dota 2?
I think it's back. Yeah, I think it's back. Oh no, it is not back. Oh god, help!
What is going on right now?
I think it's okay.
All right,
Although
so
I said that last time. It didn't.
I'm assuming there's a problem on my end, right? Or is it just Dota causing problems
I
right now?
have no idea.
Well, are you seeing the problems or no?
Not seeing problems, but I'm hearing them.
Alright, so your Dota is not acting properly either?
Not entirely. It's kind of fine. Like it's fine for me now.
Alright, so we apologize for any technical issues. We don't think they're our fault, but if they are our fault, we apologize. Possibly the most recent Dota patch that's about, what, an hour and a half ago may have broken Dota.
What? A Dota patch breaking Dota? Never heard of that one before.
I believe we only missed a single kill onto Shrek the Green Knight, but now we're seeing Smiley run at Medusa. Medusa actually has no mana in Dwell. Ice Blast missed, but they will still try. Cold Feet is there. Sunstrike is there from long range. It misses, but the kill still goes to Smiley, but now they're running at Templar. Assassin Orchid is there, but K6 is the defense. Now, oh god, the Chaz is very low. They're still stampeding, they're still running. They have enough mana to escape, but as happens, Koryak killed Guam, and Smiley killed Baker. Tornado from long range hits onto the Chaz, and with Shrek giving vision, they will... Oh, they went in with the blink from K6. It was slightly short, but now we're seeing Shrek run at Spides. Charge is there, Night Strike is there. Sunstrike was not coordinated properly, but apparently Shrek has all of the dashes he needs to get that kill. 4 kills for the Funny Zone, and Clankers and the Guamments get absolutely nothing, and it's looking like a rough game. It has snowballed quite precipitously in favor of the side of the Funny Zone. They were up about 2k at minute 13 or so. In the last 10 minutes, they have extended that to an 8k gold lead. The Aegis of the Immortal is gone, but it seems like they've used the advantage they've gotten to get very far ahead. And now it appears to be on the side of Clankers and the Guamments to somehow get this the Storm and the Axe involved in the game to make space for the Dusa, but I'm not sure if any of that will happen, you know?
Yeah, I think the big part about this game is Shrek's pressing his buttons. You know, you see most Void players and most Spearbreaker players, they don't press their bash button. You just gotta press it, and you just bash the enemy. I don't know why most people don't do that.
I was playing Void in the pub recently. I just could not press the bash button. We still won that game, but the lane did not go the way it was supposed to because I just couldn't bash, you know? And honestly, Shrek has unlocked the active on Greater Bash. Well played to him on that one. We're there going in, though, with the ball landing in the Orchid. Guam is there with the Blink Hex as well. Finger is up. Will they use it? They will not actually use it. But the kill will certainly still be there. Went to the Chaz himself, so...
Does he not see his
happened.
talent?
Is Chronos to go for that talent?
Alt that shit. Get that health.
I agree. But I think is Guam's assuming he's not going to get enough stacks to go for that talent. He's okay.
Dude, all you need is like 4 stacks. 5 stacks. It's like 300 health.
Alright, Dire have put a ward down. It's instantly dewarded by Koryak, though, so now both teams are very aware of where both teams are. Dire, though, do have 5. They want to fight right here, right now. In comes K6, have Swift Stomp there onto Crucial Taunt. Now in comes Stone Gaze. In comes Ice Blast, though. It's counterplay. They have a jump there. Oh, God! Storm jumped in, got instantly burst down there by the side of the Radiant. Now in comes Axe, trying to get Templar and Invoker, getting neither so far. Definitely Blast comes in, only gets on one. K6 once again has a stomp there on Guam. Guam goes down. Axe gets killed by Nullstrike as well. Dusa kills Baboon, but now he's isolated. Shrek has arrived. Nair Strike is there. Dusa's fighting in a 2v4, and Witch Doctor he TP'd away, so Dusa will go down. And once again, it's a fantastic trade for the side of the Funny Zone. It's a 4-for-1 in their favor. This time, the lone survivor, Baker on Witch Doctor. This is disastrous.
Yeah. I think what it simply comes down to is this TA just won her lane so hard. Centaur obviously facing Medusa, not really concerned about being killed. Gets a bit of a free lane, picks up this Blink Dagger, and then with this Centaur and Spirit Breaker just running at the enemy, there's no room to get on top of this squishy backline with this TA and Invoker and AA. You have to fight the Spirit Breaker and the Centaur because they're going to disrupt your fight. And they just were able to come online quicker.
See, at this point, Smiley is just so evasive and maneuverable around the map with these Templar assassin traps. She has traps set up in the top lane, she has traps set up in the bottom lane, got a trap in the middle lane as well. She's constantly everywhere. Because this Templar Ags allows her to teleport the traps on a 1-second channel time, it's just so hard to catch her. We saw Storm and Lion attempt on her right here, but she just got away so fast, she just didn't die.
Yeah.
Now she jumps into Baker, oh my, she 3-shots Baker. It's a trap indeed, and Baker was silenced by the Psionic Trap, and it's just... There is no counterplay for a very poor Witch Doctor in this case, especially when Smiley has that Ally Sentry Ward countering the Glimmer Cape.
Yeah. I bet you Guam's wishing he ulted that target now, getting that extra health. Not being a squishy Lion player.
He's level 12, sir. He's level 12.
It's fine. 3 more levels, you're unkillable.
Yeah, 280 HP, that'll do it. Hoof Stomp is there, as well as Orchid onto Medusa. Medusa has some Anta, but it's already on cooldown. Stampede now there, Medusa drops low, Medusa goes down, meanwhile Storm goes onto Orchid, with an Orchid onto the Invoker in the backlines, does not kill him. Ice Blast goes in, hits on 2. Now we're seeing Storm try to kill Korrak, but it's simply not working, and just Chaz gets 2-shot by Smiley. Now Shrek tanks Death Ward, TP's the fountain, should be fine. Dusa buys back, Stone Gazes. They kill Centaur already, they want to get more. They want Smiley. Earth Spike's there, but it missed. Templar Trap hits on 3, silences on 3. Maelstrike's there, hits on Axe, but it might be too much from Smiley. Might be a bit too greedy. Maledict is there, Lion is there, Sentry Ward is used, but she'll teleport away to the top lane, and at this point, Baboon might go down. Orchid is there from Korrak, Cold Snap as well. They're trying to get Baboon out. They're trying to save Private J. Curto, and Korrak and Baboon both will live, and it's only a Centaur lost, and they actually will even turn onto Guam now. Cold Feet is there, Earthspike is there, onto Invoker. Ice Blast comes in, hits on Guam. Guam certainly will go down. Question is, can they get more? In comes Dusa, trying to fight. Axe is low, Shrek is low, Shrek is fighting. Under that Maledict, Charge is there, goes through, doesn't bash somehow. Meteor goes through, does very little damage. Now Shrek, sometimes a chase. Call, misses. In comes Sunstrike, in comes the Storm. Orchid is there on Shrek. Shrek goes down, but in comes Smiley, trying to kill some more heroes. He already killed Baker, though the Orchid from Storm appears to stop more from dying. Though K-Stakes actually has already respawned and has Blink Stomp. Lily, meanwhile, Orchid's there. Onto Dusa. Dusa's being run at, has Manta into. We are seeing Axe Hall was there onto absolutely nothing, thanks to that Aghanim Shard Ice Vortex. Now seeing Maelstrike there into Dusa. Dusa has the Manta trying to run, but now in comes K6, cannot blink Dusa up, they're still running at her. Stampede is there, Hoof Stomp is there, Medusa will go down, it will be a dieback on her. Crucial comes in, call on 2, trying to save Dusa. They need to save her a little bit more, but Tornado is there and will secure that kill. Now we're seeing Orchid, they're on Axe, they'll try to TP, but Maelstrike instantly destroys that man in the middle of his TP, and the Chaz might try to cut this wave, but for Clankers and the Guamments, this game is starting to look over.
Yeah, the one key thing about Dusa is she picks up her shard and her Ags.
Oh my.
But she does not have her shard yet, and her Ags yet.
Yeah, she is going to need both of those items, because, you know, we see Dusa's being picked to buy those 2 items, and she has 0 of 2 right now. And she needs 2 of 2. Shrek is hexed. Now in comes Storm. They're trying to kill somebody, though. Storm is now Orchided. BKB is popped. Crucial Taunt comes in, has to call there. Onto 1. Ice Blast, I believe, was missed. The Chaz should survive in the fountain. Meanwhile, we're seeing Baker be run out. Hoof Stomp is there. Double Edge is there. Baker will go down. Meanwhile, seeing Korrak has Meteor and Deafening Blast and will kill the Axe. Now Baker buys back, but Radiant are hitting the barracks. Range racks are low. Melee racks are low. In comes Storm. Looking for Korrak. Korrak is very low. Should barely survive from this one. Yeah, and then Hoof Stomp's there onto In comes Smiley. 1-shots the Storm, kills Baker as well as a dieback on him. It's only Guam, the lone survivor. Nobody else's buyback. Tips come out, and the Funny Zone are feeling very good right now. They're putting the Russian chat lines in there. And at this point, it's basically a foregone conclusion at this point, right?
Yeah, they have no way to kill this TA. She has a BKB. She's has a crit stick now for her Daedalus. And this is just Megas. Yeah, GG is called.
They call it. And Guam even dies. Tried to finger Korak, I believe, there. Obviously, did not matter.
Damn, imagine if he had that extra stack.
That would have changed the game. Funny Zone would not have won in 29 minutes and 58 seconds if Guam had the talent he could not even skill at level 12. He's still level 12!
I don't know what you're talking about. Would have changed the game.
No, this is get a time machine. Go back in time. Just cheating Guam like 7 times. Get him level 15. Get him some more Finger of Death stacks. Alright, I mean, for Funny Zone, we questioned how their safe lane would go with the Templar Assassin and the Ancient Apparition, but it went extremely well. Smiley with those side blades controlled the lane very well. And they might not have had the stronger late game lineup, but if you end the game early, it does not matter. And they ended the game in just shy of 30 minutes. Well played to them. Overall, what brought us to this conclusion so quickly? How was Funny Zone so quickly able to choke this game out?
I think they had a very dominant bottom lane. The TA came online very quickly. Centaur did his job. Hit creeps, got fat, got his blink dagger, and just initiated fights, kind of stood in front. Then on top of that, you have this Spirit Breaker that he could have been level 1 and still done his job. Obviously, all he has to do is really charge in, disrupt the fight, which he did a really good job of. So they just had these big tanky bodies to sit there in front of their Invoker and their AA, and TA just got to freely engage whenever they felt like it. So I think just the faster blink timing and the faster pace of the game that they were able to perform just caught Clankers and the Guamments on their heels, unable to really ever come online.
At this point, if you're Clankers and the Guamments, what adjustments do you need to make before game number 2?
I think they had a really solid draft.
Game client's out of date, by the way.
Oh my god. I think they had a really solid draft. They had the right idea. They just need something to get them through that early game. Maybe instead of picking up a lion, pick up one of those melee 4s. Or if you still want that lion, you either need to adjust your pause 3's build to maybe go a little bit more sacrificial and pick up that blink dagger earlier. Or just pick a pause 3 that can fight a lot earlier, or even a pause 2 that can fight a lot earlier. Obviously, Storm Spirit can fight a lot earlier, but the enemy has an Orchid, they can't be the first one initiating the fight.
I think I figured out what caused the stream issues. I think Dota bottlenecked my bandwidth with their update. Just straight up stole all my bandwidth. That would be, at the very least, a good explanation for what happened.
Yeah.
Where is Artorius? There's Artorius.
Launching the game. Oh, and spoiler alert for anyone who does not want to know what is happening in the other series. It's currently 1-0 for MD12 Rejects. And game 2, Roll Swap brooded them. So we're currently seeing how that game goes.
Alright then. Everyone's favorite hero, Broodmother. You know, it's a fun and interactive hero to play against. I am wholeheartedly sure. Alright, so we are now in the lobby for game number 2. Either way, one last thing I want to say about game number 1, though, is if you were to give an MVP for game 1, who would it be?
I'd either have to give it to Shrek or Smiley. I think Baboom played the lane really well. But I think Smiley just knew that matchup, knew exactly how to play it, and beat up the Axe pretty badly. And I think, on the other hand, Shrek did a really good job on Spirit Breaker. Obviously, going to seem like a little bit of an unsung hero just because it's a Spirit Breaker. You can't really be fancy, but just charging through and disrupting the fights made it really easy on the Radiant.
I would personally give it to Smiley, but I agree what you say about the Spirit Breaker. I mean, I remember I was watching it's like back in 2014 or something, or 2013, back when there was a Korean Dota League. And there was Dubu playing Spirit Breaker. This was some revolutionary shit back in the day. Where you have like these off-angle charges, like charging through the team fights extremely well, and that I felt vibes of that this game. Or just Shrek was the right place at the right time, making lots of space, hitting a lot of heroes with that charge. So there's definitely a big difference between your low impact Spirit Breakers and your higher impact Spirit Breakers. I mean, we saw it in action right then, right there.
Yeah, obviously you can get those big charges, almost ravage the team fights. But at the same time, that's not going to change the game outcome as much as if you just had just anybody else on the Spirit Breaker. I think that's the only problem with Spirit Breaker is 4 players typically like to be fancy. They like their clockworks because they can kind of sit there and get their hook shots and their cogs and stuff like that. They like playing the Rubik, stealing the spells, whereas Spirit Breaker kind of just no thoughts, head empty.
I will charge through the enemy. Go, Bada, go! I will charge. I will bash things.
Let me press my W button and never get stunned.
I will have status resistance. Alright, so we're going to see the Funny Zone take Radiant side this game, which means they will once again be on the Radiant. Not sure if Guamments will have first or second. If they are of the same school of thought that you are, they will select first pick. And actually, they had a first game as well, so we might have to see a repeat game of Funny Zone on Radiant side with second pick, and Clankers on Dire side with the first pick. Let's see what we get here. Let's see what we get. We do get the same thing, so Clankers will have first pick and Dire, so we'll have a repeat situation, draft and sidewise. We'll have to see if the bans or the picks are adjusted. And I actually am going to grab water mid-draft, but I'm going to make it halfway through the draft this time before I get my water. I'm feeling real adventurous today.
Remaining. 5 seconds.
In hindsight, that may have been a mistake, but you know what? I'm here to fill the dead air when there's quite literally nothing happening. We are seeing same bands though. Nyx, Marana are bands, so nothing different quite yet. I believe it was I have forgotten what the bands are. I'm gonna pull up the game 1 Dota buff.
Doom by the Dire. I forget what.
Oh, Doom and Bristle were banned. Doom and Bristle, but Doom one thing gets banned. So, an exact repeat of the last draft so far, with Doom, Nyx, Marana being banned. Will they make it 4 out of 4 with Bristleback? Are they sticking to their draft plans? I mean, Funny Zone won that game 1 decisively, so once again, there's no need to change things. So if we see a Lion first pick for Clankers, then we might need to start getting concerned, because I'm not sure if Clankers and the Guamments want to run it. They tagged the games wrong, didn't they? Guam!
10 seconds remaining.
Was Guam logged in?
I'm sure he was. I mean, he's the head admin. Shouldn't he be hosting it?
I don't know.
Guess I'll have to stick that OBS text.
One of the teams that we were casting didn't ticket one of their games, apparently. They're all trying to blame me in the admin chat, and I'm like, dude, you think I looked to see if the game's ticketed? I joined the lobby, joined the slot, and tab out. Not sitting there waiting for 15 minutes while these players show up late.
Yeah, welcome to amateur North American Dota. People show up late sometimes, and by sometimes I mean 95% of the time.
Yeah.
The draft, though, is different. Clankers open with the Ancient Apparitions, with denying that from the Funny Zone this time around. Funny Zone, though, do not respond with the Spirit Breaker this time. They'll go with the Clockwork as their pick. Certainly a hero who can get on top of the Ancient Apparition pretty easily in the mid game.
10 seconds remaining.
If we're assuming those two will be in the lane together, facing each other as 4 and 5 supports, what is the lane dynamic between those two heroes?
Obviously AA is very squishy. Clockwork has a fun time with that. However, if AA just buys like a sentry ward or two, blocks pull camps, and positioning is pretty well, they should be fine. Worst case scenario, if the Clockwork gets on top, you just press cold feet and he either stuns himself or he runs away. So at the end of the day, you kind of save yourself that way.
Funny Zone using a lot of reserve time on that second pick. Not sure what's going through their heads right now, but I guess what's going through their heads is go with the exact same formula as last game. They pick the Centaur and Clankers. They snap pick the Viper. Presumably a hero who can counter out the Centaur to some degree by potentially laning into that hero, removing the breaking the passive, the return passive with that Nether Toxin.
Yeah, they're running it back to carry a Viper.
They might be doing it unironically. I mean,
no, that's got to be a mid or an off lane, I think.
I was hoping it'd be a 1 Viper again. I really was.
10 seconds remaining.
A little surprised they picked it that early in the draft, though. It was not contested in the ban phases last game, so maybe they're just thinking, hey, let's just grab our hero early, shake things up, have 2 completely different heroes. If that's their offlane hero, it's an entirely different style of offlaner as well, so certainly mixing it up in that regard. Funny Zone, though, they ban out the Sand King. They're not entirely convinced that this Viper is an offlane hero. If they were, they probably would have opted for either a mid or carry ban. Instead, they opted for the offlane ban, so as you mentioned, could always be a mid lane hero as well. I believe the Chaz plays that hero a good bit, so.
Well, I think they probably believe it's a mid lane hero. Dire pick it and then start banning mid heroes. So they're probably thinking, the Viper doesn't want to play against Invoker, so he's probably in the mid lane, and then therefore ban out an offlaner instead.
On the flip side, Clankers and the Guamments, they simply ban out the Invoker. Say, you know what? Last game did not go well for us. Let's just not play against this Koryak Invoker this time around. We have to play against the Centaur, but it's going to be okay. We have Viper, we have AA. It's an A hero, very strong. It's going to be okay. That's at least what they're telling themselves. Not sure if they're going to be okay, but at least it's good to have positive mental attitude in that regard.
You know what it's looking like a good game for the Dire is a Slark. There's currently nothing that you should be scared of on the enemy team.
I mean, yeah, you look at Slark, Dark Pact, very strong in this game. Other than Hookshot, there's not much that can really get and hit you from Fog. Obviously, Blink Stomp from Centaur is doable, but I believe Hook Stomp is like a 0.3 second animation, so I'm sure any Slark player at this level should be able to reaction Dark Pact if paying attention. And obviously, all the rest of the stuff from Clockwork, not a big deal. In the lane, not really a hero who can necessarily zone that hero out. So I understand you on that one. Certainly strong potential pick here if that's what Mr. Undefined wants to play carry.
Yeah, and if you look at traditional counters for Viper, like at least in the old days, you have like your Wind Rangers, your Clinkses, stuff like that, and Slark typically doesn't care about those heroes too much.
Yeah, I mean, unless like a hero like Clinks or Windrunner just gets ahead of the Slark and can itemize to offensively before Slark can itemize defensively, it should be fine. But usually if a hero like Windrunner or Clinks is that far ahead of a carry Slark, you've probably lost anyways.
Yeah. I think a lot of these matchups, the reason why you don't see Slark as often anymore is a lot of these offlaners can beat a Slark in lane. They just need a good 4 in order to do it. The problem is Clockwork is not one of those 4s that can help a Centaur with the Slark. Because like typically you see these Legion Commanders, these Centaurs, these Underlords, they don't actually mind laning into Slark, but they need like a ranged pos 4 that is going to help them out in some shape or form. But obviously, Clockwork and Spirit Breaker and stuff like that, they have no way to actually help you other than to take a couple right clicks.
Alright, this is my time. I'm gonna go get some water. I will be right back. Hopefully somebody picks a hero soon so you get something to talk about. I will be right back, sir.
I'm just going to talk about how Canada is a fantastic country and the states should just accept being annexed by them. Just kidding, we don't want you. We're going to build a wall. We're going to make you pay for it. It's going to be great. But Snapfire picked up, obviously, pretty good combo with Clockwork. She already has 2 cookie targets with Centaur and Clock. Her ult works very well with Cogs and Hoof Stomp. That negative armor can be a little bit detrimental to Viper in the sense that he kind of just wants to sit on the front line and be tanky. I'm assuming they're going to go for some sort of right-click carry rather than a more ability-based, like Gyro, because Viper is just going to tank that stuff. The innate magic resistance. Although that is 3 strength heroes, and there is neither a Necrophos nor Timberban. So it'll be interesting to see if the Chaz puts Viper in the offlane and picks his legendary Necrophos. We do see what I was talking about earlier, though. Pick up a 4 hero that kind of just goes in strong at all stages of the game. Tusk specifically can work as a save for people in Cogs, or people being Snapfire ulted, whereas at the same time it can be a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, until Centaur picks up an Ags, Ice Shard's a pretty good counter to that Centaur ulti to try and get out. Ice Shards can actually push people out of Cogs if you throw them correctly. And it's another hero to get on top of Snapfire and cancel that ulti. That is a lot of damage. Although Dire are lacking disable. They have control, but they don't have disable. So I'd like to see some sort of offlaner here that picks up a stun. That's probably the problem with Necrophos here. It would not offer any disable for your team.
Alright then, we're seeing Storm Spirit again.
Yeah.
Different team this time.
There's 3 strength heroes. Oh, they pick a life stealer. That's another one that counters that.
Yeah, they grabbed the traditional lane counter to the Centaur. Obviously not as good as a matchup as it used to be years ago, but still a matchup in Lifestealer's favor. We mentioned earlier how you can use Dark Pact to react to the Hoof Stomp. This is a similar concept there with Rage, where you can just react to the Hoof Stomp.
Mm-hmm.
And then ideally you do it in a way in which Centaur doesn't cancel it, and then Centaur suddenly out of his mana. And that's also the tool that Centaur uses in the lane before he has 6 to escape from Lifestealer. So if Lifestealer has a huge outplay, he rages the Hoof Stomp, and then suddenly just runs to Centaur. And Centaur's only counterplay would be usually to Hoof Stomp after Rage, but if Hoof Stomp's not cooldown, then you just die.
Yeah. I think if Dire pick up just any sort of stun offlaner, their draft will be looking pretty good. And I'm interested to see what Funny Zone want to pick up as their carry to counter this Lifestealer. Obviously, Ursa's out of the pool. Jug looks semi-okay. It's a little bit rough into AA. It's not too bad, though. Obviously, Walrus Punch is pretty good. And I think Jug has a little bit harder of a time countering Lifestealer now. The Ags isn't very good, but it can make you dodge Omni Slash.
It's
And
it's definitely an interesting act, put it that way.
yeah, right now I think they have definite problems killing this Lifestealer. I think they're 100% reliant on stun locking him before he gets rage, or getting an Orchid off, but they have to blow him up right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things as well where if the Lifestealer can get a defensively oriented item, whether it's the Manta or the BKB or even the Satanic, that would really ruin the game with a Radiant, where suddenly this play of go in and Orchid the Lifestealer suddenly is not viable.
There we go. They needed some sort of stunner. Obviously, Starter is pretty good at that. Pairs pretty well with the Tusk. While it is a good Night Stalker and Timbersaw game, and the Funny Zone banned that out, does not offer much disable. The Dire definitely needed it. However, they only have 3 seconds to pick a hero. They have no reserve time.
Yeah, hopefully they didn't random this time around.
No, they picked their hero.
Doesn't seem like a random. Doesn't seem like a random.
No, they definitely picked that. There was at least 1 second left.
Alright, so Smiley has gone from playing a traditional mid laner in the safe lane to now playing a traditional off laner in the safe lane in that Nature's Prophet, so certainly Funny Zone bringing out some interesting drafts tonight. Game 1 certainly was predicated on having these timing windows, playing the TA early, winning the team fights early, and ensuring you don't go to the late game. And I'm seeing a very similar concept here where I think their late game is better compared to the Dire team this time around, but I still would not want to go late game with this team. What are your thoughts about these two drafts here?
Well, this is not the first time we've seen a carry Prophet in Lads. I think KU is the first one to do it, at least in the recent seasons. I can't say much about Season 4 or earlier. But it definitely has the potential to just farm very fast and become a 6-slotted hero very early on and make it become a late game hero. But I think it has a little bit of a problem this game where the Slardar is a pretty good carrier of this Lifestealer, and Tusk can get on top of you as well. So he's going to have to be careful about how he engages in these fights. He's going to want to wait for his Clockwork or his Centaur to go in before he starts joining these fights. Same with Stormspirit too. They don't really want to engage. So I think a large part of this game is on the pause 5 Baboon, actually. Clockwork and the pause 4 Centaur. Actually opting for a pause 4 Snapfire this game.
Alright, we see a little bit of trading going on, and if you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2 of Funny Zone versus Clankers and the Guamments. Funny Zone won game 1 in a 30-minute affair, and now in game 2, we're once again off to a relatively interesting draft of the Funny Zone, and they are trading a little bit more action pre-runes this time compared to last game. Seeing these trans, they are scouting a little bit for now, but looks like Funny Zone are simply backing off the other runes. Question is, will Funny Zone fight this rune? Shrek's in the area, but he's alone for now, so it appears to be 2 runes for 2 runes. Now tag team is there. Shrek has Cookie, but he missed it over the ledge. Neurotoxin is there. Tag team is there, and the tips are coming out, and the first blood will be drawn by USS Guam on his former teammate, Shrek the Green Knight.
Was tipped by his own team, not even the enemy.
So you know you fucked up. Your own team flame tips you. He's probably saying to his team, like, hey, I got this. I have a Cookie. I can go over to the ledge, and then the moment after they go. Dang. Seeing the Chaz, though, already level 2 on Viper. He's playing this lane very aggressively, trying to keep Koryak down, and denying that range keep is going to be very huge early in this lane, I'm sure. Battery Assault is used bottom lane, but Tag Team is there, Bash is there. Baboon certainly will pay for the Battery Assault. Well, so will Guam, actually. With that Blightstone on Smiley, Guam took a lot of damage there. He lost that half his armor there, of course.
Yeah, and we've seen the top lane Snapfire picking up this Blightstone, but actually opting for the Cookie level 1, maybe in that attempt to save themselves. Can't really trade with the Ancient Apparition as well as they could if they had that little Shredder.
Oh. Alright, I guess that was a little bit too early with if you were joining us, but now we're seeing a Hoof Stomp there on Baker top lane. They're running with Shrek. They have Cookie on cooldown, but Baker should go down here. Yes, he will. So now 1 kill per team right now. It's 1-to-1 kill score. If you are just joining us from the Killer Karate stream, this is game number 2 of the Funny Zone versus Clankers and the Guamments series. Funny Zone won game 1 pretty decisively, and now we're off to a Carry Furion game, so yeah, fun times out.
Is it fun times though?
I'm having fun. I'm not sure if you're having fun. I'm not sure if the player's having fun, but I'm having fun.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to play against either of these drafts.
That's why I cast Dota now. I think I'm retired. You have to play against the drafts if you don't play Dota. Seeing Cold Feet top lane on Shrek. We're seeing a ton of touch as well, but Snapfire is still fine now. Shrek took a good bit of damage there, but still has a Tango and some HP to spare. Though K-Stigs might pay for that with Shrek being temporarily zoned from the lane. Meanwhile, though, Baboon's being run at. Tag Team and Ice Shards are there, so well played there by Mr. Guam. Bash is there from Crucial Taunt, and now Baboon is dead. So 2 kills for the Guamments, and certainly a better laning phase than last game. Top lane, though, we're seeing Shrek take a lot of damage, and as that happens, Korak's taking some damage from the Chaz. Viper obviously trading there with that Storm. Shrek is fine. Actually, everybody is fine.
Yeah, I think this is one of the problems with Clockwork 5 is typically Clockwork wants to just play in a lane where he just runs out a squishy pos 5 hero and gets a little bit of help from his pos 3 and just secures kills. Other than that, just stops pulls for their offlaner. The problem is, as a pos 5, you're running at typically a pos 4 who either has a lot of damage or is tanky, and a tanky pos 3, and more often than not, your carry doesn't want to help because he just wants to hit creeps.
Mid lane, Korak tried to fight the Chaz, but Viper a bit too tanky there with that corrosive skin, and Korak went down there. And as happened, bottom lane, we're seeing a Snowball and a Night Shards there, and Baboon. Tag Team is there, Bash is there from Slardar as well. So once again, another kill set up by the one and only USS Guam on the 5 Clockwork. And so far, it's 4 kills for Clankers and the Guamments. Are almost a reverse what we saw last laning phase, where Funny Zone went up to a 4 or 5 kill lead early. This time it's the Guamments. We're currently at that 3 kill lead right now.
Shrek might want to be careful here.
This time he will successfully use Cookie, though. He will escape. He will not die there to the Lifestealer and the Ancient Apparition combo. Did tank a good bit of damage for it, but I'm sure it's no harm, no foul for that D ward. Looking over at CS, the story is not too surprising. The Chaz up on top, Smiley and Korak not that far behind, but all cores relatively even currently. No core being absolutely shoved out of the lane too hard. We're seeing Korak, though, is being run at mid lane. Viper Strike is up if the Chaz wants to use it, but he might not even want to commit onto Korak. The poison attacks are there, and Neurotoxin is there. Korak tries to go there with that Electric Vortex, but simply the Viper too strong right now against the level 5 Storm Spirit.
Exhilarating Viper gameplay. Press W on wave, click enemy with Q. Press W on wave, go to small camp, press W on small camp, go to wave, press W on wave.
Bottom lane, though, Snowball is there. Crucial, though, went down there. They committed onto Smiley. They could not kill him. Now Guam's being hit by the 2 members of Funny Zone in safe lane, and Baboon will get a double kill. And as that happens, Lifestealer is running at Shrek. Cookie is there, but undefined. There's a good Fairy Fire there from Shrek. With that minus armor, the tower will kill Lifestealer. So Shrek there with the absolute outplay, and the tip came out, though it was onto Guam rather than any of the members in the top lane situation. So certainly a very interesting laning phase. At least more interesting than the last laning phase. A lot more action in the side lanes and the mid lane. Compared to the last game where there was action in exactly 1 lane.
Gotta love being a support player. You screw up, die, feed first blood, you get tipped by your team. It's like, ah ha ha, very nice. You then solo kill the enemy carry, nothing said. No tips, nothing. Just
I mean, maybe you should not make mistakes when your team is watching, sir. That's my thoughts. Guam is set up bottom lane. They actually have no support there. I'm not sure if Dire is aware of that, but they are going to snowball anyways, looking for Smiley. Ice Shards is up now. In comes Clock with the TP. Crush is there. Bash was there as well, but now in comes Clock. Has Battery Assault there. They're now hitting the Slar. Slar somehow managed to get outside of the Sprout, but as that happens, Centaur and Shrek ran top lane at Lifestealer, somehow killed him as well, so... Guess I watched the wrong side lane skirmish. Watched the failed kill. Not the successful kill in the top lane. How did that top lane come up? Did you watch that one or no?
No, I was looking at the bottom lane. I was surprised they were diving on the tower for a second time.
I'm a little bit surprised over everything involved. I mean, literally everything involved.
However, this looks like MX mid tier 1 tower going down for 10 minutes.
It's mid is 7. The Chaz has already gotten 2/3 of the tower. Though, in comes Storm, has Vortex, has the Remnant. Now in comes Mally, in comes Baboon. They want to kill Viper. They commit 4 heroes to kill him. And they get the kill, and they actually saved their man Korak as well, as he was taking a lot of damage there from that Viper Strike, the Poison Attack, and all the fun, interactive Viper-based abilities. So, good turn there, and good teamwork by the Funny Zone. And now they're running top lane as well. Cookie is there on Baker. They use a little Shredder, so A, quite damaged. K6 though lacks the mana for Stampede, so no Stampede will be used. Now I turn to Lifestealer. Stomp is there, Double Edge is there. They are trying to damage the Lifestealer, but he is still fine on HP. And now the laning phase appears to have devolved into map-wide skirmishing. We're seeing alone heroes in the lanes. We're seeing a Storm run up into mid lane. Vortex is there. Smiley is there. He disjointed the Viper Striker, so well played by the Storm, but now he's low. Mana Crush is there. Guam is there. Storm no longer there. They're now running at Smiley. Is there a bash in time? No, it's not. And as that happens, they're diving Viper still. Little Shredder is there from Shrek, so Shrek gets that kill. Overall, I think 7 heroes committed themselves to that fight, and both mid laners die, and quite literally nobody else does.
Yeah. Luckily for the Dire, their supports were there, ready to engage. TP's off cooldown. Unluckily for the Dire, there was a wrapping Snapfire that nobody saw.
Yeah, I mean, if they saved their Viper there and killed Korak, it's an absolutely fantastic get, but they barely missed the kill on Smiley. They barely missed saving their Viper, and what could have been an absolutely huge win for the Dire ends up being a relatively even engagement.
Yeah, and, well, not even relatively even. It's pretty good for the Radiant. Storm Spirit's actually the lowest net worth out of all the cores. And he's only level 7.
Ooh.
And the Viper's level 9.
So we'll call it a win then. And they actually might once again go on Viper. Baboon is there with Battery Assault and Cogs. We once again have a zip in from Korak. They're trying to kill the Chaz, and they will kill him. But as that happened, bottom lane, they went on Smiley. And Baboon actually ended up dying there to the overall damage over time from the Chaz. But as that happened, bottom lane, they went on Smiley with the Furion, the Ancient Apparition, and the Slaughter of the Tusk and everything. They managed to kill that Furion pretty easily there, and it was... Across the map, not that good for the Radiant suddenly losing both your support and your carry in exchange only for a mid laner.
Yeah, and despite Viper dying, he actually jumps number 1 on net worth.
He managed to get that after death kill, so he didn't get the experience for it, but he still got that nice little infusion of gold there.
Yeah, they're trying to give their Storm Spirit a game. They're trying to bring him back. Yeah, they're pretty rough laning phase. However, they're not really slowing down this Viper because they're typically giving things up in order to try and kill him.
Seeing a brawl in the jungle, they tried to disrupt the Lifestealer. They did not kill him, and now he's running at Baboon, has the infested Hellbear. But with the Battery Assault being committed, he apparently said, you know what, I'm good. But as that happened, top lane, there were 3 different Funny Zone heroes. hitting the tower, and with that Blightstone and with the trees and everything, certainly died quite easily there.
Yeah.
And so if you're Funny Zone, you're approximately 1k gold up, so you certainly are in the lead, but your Storm Spirit is struggling. What is the course of action you take to help get him into this game and to help bring this 1k gold lead into a more substantive lead than that?
Well, really, you have to wait for this Centaur to pick up a Blink Dagger. You don't really want to fight without it. You do have Clockwork to engage. So maybe you look for a little bit of a pick off with a Clockwork Hookshot Cogs into a Mortal Time Kisses with just the 2 supports. You don't want your Furion to stop farming, because he pretty much needs to be an item up at least on this Lifestealer if he really wants to kill him. Obviously, Lifestealer is just going to be tanky as hell, and if he ever gets on top of Furion, Furion's not going to have a good time. Furion is deceptively tanky with the amount of armor he has,
Ooh,
but with
good
this
hook shot, more kisses as well, but it's a good snowball from Guam, stops a lot of that damage. Now Baboon's dropping low, but the Chaz is dead. It's a 1-for-1 so far, and Korak goes in, kills Guam. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Funny Zone. Smiley tried the TP, realized he couldn't, canceled it. Now we're seeing a cookie from Shrek, but in comes Lifestealer. They're trying to catch Smiley, but with the Stampede being used by K-Stigs, that's certainly not going to work. But it's still a, once again, favorable engagement for the Funny Zone. They trade 2-for-1. They trade support for a mid and a support. And for the Chaz, it's been a rough last few minutes. A lot of deaths on his part. He's now up to 4 deaths on Viper after a fantastic start to the lane. If you're Crackers in the Guamments, what do you do to start, stopping the bleeding? How do you bandage this problem where suddenly your Viper's starting to fall off and your Lifestealer is not that farmed yet?
Well, I think that the right idea, just put your supports near this guy. You have a save, you have a lot of damage output, and just have TPs ready on your Slardar and potentially Lifestealer. Obviously, Lifestealer typically doesn't want to join those fights, but as is with every carry, if you can be the last one to show up to a team fight, you can just get a free kill and turn a team fight. I think with the amount of global presence the Radiant has, they just want to keep doing this combo of Storm zipping in from half the map away, throwing out the Mortar Time Kisses off of the back of a Hookshot Cogs, and Prophet TPing in. And I think as the Dire, you just need to be ready and expect that that's coming.
Smoke is there on 3 for the Dire, but they're looking for Korak, but it's a hard kill to find, and Smoke appears to be wasted. They could not, they did not feel confident, I should say, in the jump there on Korak. Scared of what backup the Radiant had, and Radiant actually were not necessarily directly backing up Korak. We're sitting here in this dire jungle sort of area, but even though they had the blink on Slardar, they did not feel confident enough to go for that jump, so we still are at a bit of a wait between fights.
They've picked up this Blink Dagger, but there's no need to force anything. You still have your tier 1 mid tower.
Looking at Dire Vision, they do not see Baboon and K-Sticks sitting there on the high ground. Centaur's blink as well, so they might just jump Mr. Lifestealer. Never mind there. Instead, backing away, seeing the Ice Vortex, saying, you know what, this is not an engagement in our favor. We're fine with farming on our Storm, fine with farming on our other heroes. We saw an attempt top lane on Shrek, but the crush was missed by Crucial Daunt, and they will run in there with the bash, but a little more Ice Shards. From long range, though, does not work. Snowball will attempt to get there, but it will not stun. Now K6 has Hoofstomp in on 2. Lord's Kisses is there. Hookshot's there on 2. And with the Korak rotation coming in, it's 2 absolutely easy kills for the Funny Zone. And they will run at Lifestealer as well. They do have the Orchid on Storm Spirits, but the Rage was completed in time by Lifestealer, so there is no kill there. Though instead they might just head to Baker if they can find him. They will indeed find him. Or perhaps not. Baker barely escaping, actually, from what would have been certain death if either Electric Vortex or Hoofstomp was there, but Baker a little bit too maneuverable to be caught for now.
I think that play was very ambitious. The moment you overblink and miss the crush on Snapfire, just stop chasing. this enemy team is so mobile. I'm surprised Storm Spirit and Prophet wasn't there in that middle of that fight.
Alright, Smiley's being jumped on. They are committing with 3, but they have not killed him. Crushes their cancel TP on Smiley, so Smiley will go down there. Funny Zone, though, will disengage, and they will only lose Smiley. Never mind, they'll find K-Stigs instead. Crush is there, anti-damage is there, Hoof Stomp was used on 2, but in comes Ice Blast, in come those poison attacks, and down goes the Centaur, so it's 2 big kills there for Conquerors and the Guamments.
Those are the fights you want. Don't go chasing the pause 4 halfway across the map. If you catch the guy, you catch the guy. If you don't, suck it up and leave him alone. Can't be chasing teams like this. But they definitely bring it back there. Really good fight for them. Catching out the carry.
We're seeing a hookshot in, though, onto Crucial. Orchid is there from Storm Spirit, but he did not have the mana to commit in further to find the Electric Vortex. And Dire, they cleanly disengage on 5, and they get 2 tower kills. They get 1 in the middle lane, and as that happened, we saw the Lifestealer bit of a split push going on, got the 1 in the bottom lane as well, so they bring a bit of this gold lead back, though it is still 3k in favor of the Funny Zone.
Yeah, I think the Dire just need to calm down a bit. I think they got a little bit antsy in that top lane. They calmed down a bit, took that good fight mid, and now they're playing the game almost perfectly. Just disengaging from fights, taking these towers, and they're not getting punished for it. They're doing a really good job. They're playing around the Chaz now. He isn't dying anymore. He has backup wherever he goes.
It's a good word here by the Dire. They see K-Stigs and they will attempt to dump them. Never mind, they'll jump. They were not on the same page with the initiation. They had a couple heroes go on K-Stigs, they had a hero go on Baboon, and ultimately they did not commit going high grounds onto the Funny Zone there.
I think that's almost the correct play.
I was going to say, it's probably a good thing they didn't.
You don't want to jump either of those heroes. Obviously, both of those heroes are the ones who want to be jumped.
Alright, Blatant Crush was attempted on the Korak, but he had the ball lightning off in time. He saw Slaughter initiating, and as a result, was able to ball landing away from the intended crush target. Now we're seeing Hoof Stomp there, though, onto Crucial Taunts. Smiley has rotation in, Sprout is there, Stampede is there, in comes Korak looking for a jump, will find Guam. Ice Blast is there, but Korak will go down for the Ice Blast. Now Hookshot is there on Guam. Guam is the counter kill, but it's a 2-for-1 so far in favor of the Funny Zone. Make that a 2-for-2. The Chaz, though, is low. He will go down, and now in comes Swift Stop once again there from K-Sticks on Lifestealer. He's down to 1/3 HP, but he will infest the creep, and he should be able to escape. Ultimately, it was a 3-for-2 trade, though, in favor of the Funny Zone. Once again, mids and mids and supports are traded, but they pick up an extra Slardar as well. And Smiley bottom lane might try to kill Baker. Witchblade is up. Trans are there, and my god. Baker, oh, good body blocks there by Smiley. He needs 1 more hits. Can he get it? He will get it, so. Ultimately, 4 kills. So meanwhile, we're seeing a snowball there onto K-Stigs. Cookie was used by Shrek, but in comes the dash there onto Shrek as well. K-Stigs has the blink away and should escape. Alright, it's non-stop fighting.
Yeah.
It's the non-stop brawl.
I think Dire are playing this map a lot better now. They're taking these fights that they want to take. Obviously, Radiant are a little bit stronger right now with that net worth advantage and these early core heroes. But they're finding good engagements, or relatively even engagements nonetheless.
Alright, Korak going for a big play there. Zips him into Orchid onto Lifestealer. Smiley's there as well. Rage was completed, but he could not get into Lifesteal off in time. Now, Hookshot is there on Crucial. Sprout was used as well, and Slardar will go down, and it's 2 more kills, and very ambitious play there by the Funny Zone paid off heavily. 2 kills and no punish.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Lifestealer, he double-clicked his armlet and turned it right back off.
And now Hoof Stomp there on Viper. They're trying to parlay it into a 3rd kill. Baboon is there. Walrus Kisses is there from Shrek. Snowball is used, but it will not kill anybody else yet. But Smiley actually will die to that Walrus Punch, though it is, so far, 2-for-1. Smiley for Chaz and Baker. Now they run at Guam, and with that little Shredder and the damage from Storm Spear, it's certainly going to pick up a full 5-man wipe.
Yeah, good job by Radiant, recognizing that Dire down 3 heroes right now. We have the advantage. Unfortunate for them that they lose their Prophet, but they had the right idea. Just may as well dive them, they have no backup.
At this point, Funny Zone have started to pulled away in terms of map control. They have these very evasive neutral heroes, and as we're talking, they might even jump the Slaughter at bottom. They have the Hookshot and the Storm. Vortex is there, Hookshot is there, Orchid is there. Slaughter is low HP, though will not die immediately. Crush is there and Baboon, and they will abandon the Clockwork. Rightfully so, and I guess that's kind of good from both teams. Assuming everyone here on Funny Zone escapes. Yeah, everyone else will escape. Obviously, for Clankers and the Guamments, very good kill there to get, you know, literally any kill, but also good for Funny Zone to not lose anything more than the Clockwork.
Yeah, just didn't quite have enough damage. And while Koryak might have been able to get the kill, I'm assuming he recognized the fact that Lifestealer was the one TPing in, and obviously can save him with that Infest health gain.
At that point, if you're committing in to try to finish that kill, it's probably your life being lost, and that's simply not worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Once again, for Radiant, we're seeing very aggressive wards being placed. We're seeing one in the mid lane over here. We're seeing one all the way in the jungle here. It's been up for, what, like 5 minutes now? Has not been de-warded. It's given a lot of vision for the Radiant in terms of the Dire's map movements.
Yeah, that's definitely the way you want to play with a Storm Spirit and a Prophet like that. If you can be anywhere on the map, you can always take a favorable engagement if you know where the enemy is.
So it's a very important caveat, though. You need to know where they are.
Yeah. Well, it's not that you need to know where they are. You just need to know where one or two heroes are, because then you can generally guess where the rest of them are, and you know they won't have those heroes to back them up.
We saw an Infest bomb there in the Slardar, but they could not connect. They could not find the two Funny Zone heroes in the bottom lane.
They were spotted out by the Storm Spirit, so the Nature's Prophet could freely retreat into the tree.
At this point, Funny Zone simply playing on the areas of the map where Clankers and the Guamments simply are not. And they are just, as time goes on, slowly farming more and more of the map. We're seeing Smiley once again occupying his bottom lane. We're seeing heroes occupy the Dire jungle and the Radiant Tri-Camp. There's just this massive farm advantage going on for the Funny Zone, and for Clankers and the Guamments, it feels like you have to do something fast.
I almost think they're fine. Obviously, they need to deal with this Nature's Prophet. This one getting out of hand.
Mid lane, they will attempt to kill K6. Ice Blast is there, Lifestealer is there, and the Chaz will finish with the Christian Baker will finish with the kill there with that damage from the Ice Blast. And now in comes Koryak trying to go onto Crucial. Hookshot is there from Baboon. Spardar goes down, but it is a trade for Shrek. Now the Chaz hits Baboon. Baboon goes down, and for Clankers and the Guamments, they force it. They find a good 3-for-1 trade, and they get a little bit of damage on that tier 2 tower as well. Ooh, good Atos there on Storm, and Koryak took a lot of damage there.
Yeah. I think they're doing the correct play. They're definitely stronger right now, as long as they don't get jumped on. If they get jumped on and lose the hero straight away, then they'll be a little bit down bad. But if they're taking even 5v5 engagements, I think they can still win despite this net worth disadvantage. A lot of it's on the Prophet, who still needs probably an item or two to really be this unkillable threat. Obviously, he's going for this Satanic and Scotty, and that will make him very hard to bring down. Right now, if he still gets jumped on, even with this BKB, it's not going to save him from the physical damage output that's coming out. But other than that, like, the rest of the net worth advantage is pretty much all on these supports. And Tuscan AA don't need money to do what they want to do, and neither does Snapfire and Clockwork. So them having this extra 1 or 2 items isn't really changing the outcome of these team fights.
Radiant are looking for a jump. They will find the Slardar. Hookshot is there, but it's a save there from Guam. Armor's Kisses was used, but it almost 0 damage. Now Large Punch is there on Korak. He'll go down, but it is a trade for Crucial Taunt. As that happened, Smiley went on Baker. Baker went down, and so did Guam to K-Stigs. So it's a 3-for-1 engagement in favor of the Funny Zone. Though, the Funny Zone lost their mid, and they pick off in exchange for 3 not mid/carry heroes.
Yeah, I think that one's kind of okay. For the Dire, I think Radiant will be pretty happy with it. They're probably not too happy that they lost their Storm, but they maintain map control with that. I think that fight could have turned out a lot better if they had that BKB finished on Slardar, but he's still a little bit off and just gets blown up by that Snapfire and Mortimer's Kisses.
We're at the point currently where pretty much no matter if it's a fight win or a fight loss, Smiley will be able to split push whenever a fight happens. So it just, unless he just straight up dies in the fight, he's applying just so much map pressure right now on this this Nature's Prophet hero. We're once again seeing him TP top lane. He's level 20 right now compared to the other heroes in the game that are, the highest level is 18, so he's by far the highest level hero. He's highest net worth hero by a country mile as well, so it's starting to turn into an issue.
This is the point of the Prophet, is he needs to get this large lead and then take off with it, because if he falls behind, it's going to be very, very rough time. Or if he's even just even, it can be a rough time for the Prophet.
It's one of those heroes where fundamentally his kit isn't necessarily suited to carrying. It's one of those things where he has to use his abilities to get ahead. That's currently where he is. He's very safely ahead, but he's last year with the exact same net worth, then you're in for a rough time.
I think Radiant went to go groove up and smoke into the Roche pit there, and then realized they didn't have a smoke.
And it is walk in there. Now Ice Blast is once again going to connect on the 2, but the problem is Roshan is dead. The Aegis will go to Smiley. Now in comes Shards, in comes Snowball. They try to get the Fury on, but simply not damage. Now Orchid's there on Lifestealer. He's already low HP. Hookshot is there from Baboon. Lifestealer will go down. Now Glom tries to do something, dies. Viper Strike is there on Shrek. Shrek will die, but this fight is not going that well for Mr. Guamments just yet. K6 is low, has to stop, tries to run away, but he's dropping very low. Now once again, in comes Koryak onto Crucial, so both offlaners will die. Now Smiley's back, the reinitiation on the Chads, and will kill them, and Battle Assault will TP, cancel the TP of Baker as well, so it's a full 5-man wipe once again for the side of the Funny Zone, and they're very happy. They are very, very happy.
Yeah, really good positioning by Shrek. Gets the cookie and the Force Staff to disengage Smiley out of there. And Dire just chased too far. They try and chase up a high ground, and Lifestealer just doesn't rage on the way up and gets silenced, keeps going, and just kind of dies. He either needed to rage going up that high ground, or they just need to recognize, hey, they got out, let's just leave this, and not chase up the high ground.
Yeah, a bit of an overextension there. And at this point, it's going to be another clean disengage for the Funny Zone. Smiley has the full Eye of Scotty finish. Actually, will not be going for Satanic. We're going for a Daedalus instead. Storm has mostly recovered. It's close to a BKB as well, so Funny Zone is picking up more and more key items. Look at the Lifestealer. He only has an Armlet, a Maelstrom, and a Halberd, so he's simply just not that far. He'll have the Basher soon, but the Basher will now solve his problems of being silenced before he can rage.
Yeah, and this is one problem with playing against Nature's Prophet is you kind of want to keep your Quelling Blade. Even though it'd be better to have a Bracer in that slot or whatever, you kind of need that Quelling Blade, because if you get sprouted, kind of feels bad. But on the flip side, Smiley does have the Shard, so even if you do Quelling Blade it, there is going to be a tree there.
At least if you are the Lifestealer, you can phase away when you do that. Assuming you still have the phase boots off cooldown. It is playtime though. They do not want to wait for the Funny Zone simply to Never mind, they cancel the infest. Thought they were going to an infest for some kind of play. Instead, they opt to hit creeps for their tier 3 neutral items. As Funny Zone begin to set up high grounds in the top lane. They place the ward down by the T3, but Dire instantly pinged that one out, so that'll be dewarded quite soon, actually.
Yeah, in fact, Lifestealer was the one that bought the sentry ward. I think a few too many carry players don't do this. They see a ward get placed, and they're like, "Hey, support player, there's a ward here, there's a ward here, there's a ward here." It's like, okay, well, if you're walking towards it, why don't you just buy the sentry ward? You actually gain money. And they're like, no, that's sports job. I'm not going to buy a sentry ward. So good on the Lifestealer for recognizing that, hey, this is free gold.
Laughed quite heartedly at that one. That was too real. Far, far, far too real. It's a Funny Zone are starting to choke the map out. We have Crucial in the back lines, secretly farming some jungle camps, but other than that, the lanes, all 3 lanes, are starting to push in to the Funny Zone's favor. They have the Aegis for another only minute though, so if they want to go, they have to go now. They cannot wait if they want to high ground, and it appears as though they might just waste it, unless they can simply try to force a fight right here, right now.
Yeah, I think if they want to go high ground, it'd almost be better placing this Aegis on Storm.
Speaking of Storm, he jumped Slardar, who was trying to cut the wave in the backlines, but Koryak zipped in, had the Orchid, had the Vortex, Baboon came in with hookshot, Smiley came in with his right clicks, and well, it simply way too much damage. And Koryak tried to find Baker as well, but slightly off the mark in the timing, but still having the Slardar dead, I'm sure, is fantastic for them. And now it is high ground time. They are hitting. Bullet Shredder is there, taking away some of the armor from the tower. Guam tried the tag team while Sponge failed on it. Now in comes Warmer's Kisses is hitting onto Guam, but in comes Lifestealer. He's hitting Koryak. Koryak's low on mana. Stampede is used. Cookie is used to make Storm escape. Now in comes Slardar. Infest Bomb is there. Can they find Storm? No, they cannot. The timing is late. Now Smiley tries to TP. Is there a bash? Hell yes, there is. Baboon comes in. Hookshot onto Ice Blast will hit, I believe, onto 2 as well. Now K6 has Swift Stomp also onto 2. Now Viper Strike is there. K6 is isolated. Is Lost Punched. Will die. And now Dire are running at Smiley. Crush once again there. 2 kills now for Clankers and the Guamments. Both these heroes have buybacks, but still absolutely massive kills to get. And they will look for Shrek as well. Ghost Scepter and Cookie are there, but Ice Shards are there as well, so Shrek will go down, and that's 3 kills for Clankers and Guamments, but now in comes Koryak. He kills Guam, he's looking for him, but Atos is there from the Chaz, and Koryak goes down, so 4 kills for Clankers and the Guamments. And
I think I watched Smiley try and TP out 6 different times that fight. Just every time it got cancelled by either his teammate or an enemy.
That's unfortunate there, and you mentioned how the BKB isn't going to save him. And we saw it there, he tried to BKB TP, but alas. Bash of the Deep. Simply too strong.
Yeah, that on top of the Skull Basher from this Lifestealer.
Alright, it's shockingly high ground time for the side of Clankers and the Guamments. Their wave is coming in. Smiley's dead for 30, Koryak's dead for 45 seconds. What kind of damage can they do? Baboon is setting up, and K-Sticks and Shrek have respawned. So what kind of action will we see?
Dire need to be a little bit careful here. The 2 heroes that are dead are the global presence heroes. The Radiant could engage very soon here if they wanted to.
They might just back now.
I believe that is the correct choice to leave now. Just get some farm on the way out. Obviously, not under vision. Do it somewhere else.
Oh boy, Hookshot once again is there on the Crucial. He will go down. Now Ice Blast comes in, I believe missed. Infest is there on the creep, but it's already gone. And now Lifestealer has the Halberd. It's there on Smiley, but in comes Sprout. In comes Warmer's Kisses. Lifestealer's trying to run away, but now in comes Koryak in with the Orchid, and he will instead turn to Baker. Vortex is there. Chaz. They wanted the Chaz, but he had a BKB, he TP'd away, and there was no more means to cancel that one. But it's, once again, more kills for the Funny Zone, 3 on the retreating heroes of Clankers and the Guamments, and it felt so good if you're a fan there, but that feeling was very brief as the retreat was disastrous.
Yeah, very hard to retreat from a team that has Stampede, Hookshot, Zip, and Global Teleport. So I think they realized that, hey, we need to get out.
Oh god, Hook Stomp is there, as well as Vortex onto the Chaz, but Snowball's there from Guam. Ice Blast comes in, misses. Buybacks are there from Lifestealer and the AA. Now they turn to Shrek. Shrek will go down, but can they find more? Ice Shards is there, and it hits on K-Sticks. In comes the Atos from the Viper, and yeah, that is a dead Centaur War Runner. Fantastic shards there from USS Guam.
On the flip side, I don't think Radiant are too upset about that. They do force out the Lifestealer buyback as well as the AA buyback.
They did not lose a significant core hero on the retreat as well. They lost K-Sticks, which hurts, but they kept Koryak alive, and they kept Smiley alive.
I think it's a little bit of a sigh of relief, though, there from the Dire, because they do not have buyback on Slardar. It is on cooldown. However, Smiley's under a ward here. They might find him.
Huge jump, they can find it. Ice Shards is there. In comes the Biggie, but in comes the Bashes. Can they bash in time? In comes Koryak. In comes Ice Blast. Koryak's trading. Dire dropping low. But Koryak half HP as well. Bomb goes down. There's an infest in the Treant. That Treant's certainly dead. Now Lifestealer is stuck. He's trying to trade. He will go down soon, as will Baker. And Lifestealer tried to get some kind of kill on Baboon at the very end, but could not find anything. And now it's 3 heroes dead, and you mentioned now Funny Zone are happy because they forced the Lifestealer buyback, and a mere minute later, it is a Lifestealer dieback. So it's becoming difficult for them.
This has been tail of the tape. Koryak's doing a very good job getting Orchid off on this Lifestealer. And he didn't really buy a defensive item for that. And he's been caught out a few times with that now.
I remember mentioning it very early where it's possible Manta, BKB, Titanic, early in the Lifestealer. Opted for none of the 3, and he's paying for it. And it's high ground time. Dire have no buybacks on all 3 dead heroes. Netherracks are dead, Rangeracks are dead, and they head to the tier 4s even. They want to end this Dota game right here, right now. They have 3 hitting. Koryak sitting in the wings in the back lines. Baboon is just jetpacking him apparently. Dire are alive in 3, but it's only 3. K-Sticks is still hitting. Atos is there. Viper Strike is there, but it's reflected onto K-Sticks. And then comes Snowball, but it's also reflected by the Lotus. Then comes Koryak in on the Guam. Guam will go down. Crucial comes in, tries to fight. Hookshot is there on the Chaz. Buff Stomp's there onto Crucial will go down, and the Chaz will go down. It's a full 5-man wipe, and the offensive GG comes out, but it does not matter in the very end. This game, it is very certainly over.
Yeah.
If you're a Clankers and the Guamments fan, this is a rough series to watch. It was a very one-sided affair for the Funny Zone. Clankers and the Guamments had moments where they looked strong in both games, but in general, the Funny Zone were from minute 0 ahead in both games, and it just seemed to be the better team. What are your thoughts overall on the series?
I think this almost comes down a little bit to veterancy and experience playing with each other. Obviously, Funny Zone only swapping in 1 new player with Aurora gone. Definitely making a lot less mistakes than the Clankers and Guammets team. Couple times they're just on different terms a little bit, going on different targets, or they're overextending a little bit. Obviously, there are some veteran players on these teams. On this Clankers and Guammets team, but they haven't really played together too much. They've all typically been on different teams. So I think once they get used to each other, and obviously they did have to deal with a stand-in tonight as well. Not that Crucial Taunt played badly, just obviously not their usual player, so might have had to change up drafts a little bit, or they might not have felt entirely comfortable as you do when you have a stand-in. However, I think they played pretty strongly. I don't think they need to feel bad about that performance. Funny Zone's a pretty strong team. But I think these mistakes will typically get corrected over time as you play together, get more experience. And to me, that was a very promising performance.
On the flip side for Funny Zone, they are proving some of the doubters wrong. There were a lot of people who said their playoff run might just be a fluke. This team might not be that good, but they're off to a pretty good start this season. They're, I believe, 3-1, so not a bad spot to be. The new team appears to be working out pretty well so far, despite the plethora of role swaps they have done in recent weeks. If you were to get an MVP for Game 2 in the whole series, who would it be? Let's start with Game 2 first.
Game 2, I'd probably give it to Baboon. I think he had some very good hook shots, initiated a lot of really strong fights for his team. Again, I might just be biased on this. I selected the Spirit Breaker and then the Clockwork. But I think he did a really good job. He set up some very good plays with Shrek Mortimer Kisses and definitely created that early bit of pressure for his team.
I should agree with you on that one. I mean, we saw Baboon have multiple two-man hook shots there on clock, which is certainly abnormal. You don't really see that too often. He had it, I think, like 6 or 7 times that game. It was sensational, really. And then if you had to give an overall MVP for the series, who would it be?
I'd probably give it to... I think it's in between Smiley and Koryak. I think they had very good performances both games. I think their entire team played solid. Different players kind of stood out in different games. But I think both of them had excellent performances this series.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I'd probably edge it over to Smiley over the two. I think he had a pretty good 2-game showing there. Any final analysis do you want to give for the series before I go into my usual outro stuff?
I guess I'll give a shout out to the Dire supports. I think Game 1, I don't know if they were just playing a little bit different or they were just on heroes that couldn't do it as well. But I think Game 2, they really played together very well and applied some early pressure and were able to, I guess, bunker down and tank some of that early aggression from the Radiant, turning some of those fights pretty well.
All right, do you have any final words, call-outs, shout-outs to say to people of League of Lads and twitch.tv/BadgerPablo?
Subscribe with Prime to twitch.tv/USS Guam.
Bit of a throwback on that meme, but certainly checks out, sir. Thank you for tuning in to the series, if you tuned in, especially for both games. My name is Badger. If you want me to cast your games, cast your tournaments, contact me over on Discord at Badger number 5713, and as per usual, have a great night.